Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper Offersen, and on this channel here we are talking about skincare, and we are not using a filter. I know it is a little bit unusual for a skincare channel not to use a filter, isn't it? Anyway, we are not using a filter on this channel here, and that means that if you saw me on the high street, this is how I look. You would recognize me. So today we are going to talk a little bit about some day creams, or we are going to talk about a certain day cream. We're going to talk about a day cream from Nivea, and we're going to talk a little bit about an eye cream from Nivea as well, and a micellar water as well, and they are all in the same series, and that is this one here, the Q10 Energy series. So that is the day cream. It has an SPF of 15, and then we have the eye cream. It does not have an SPF, and it looks like this. So it has these antioxidants and so on, and those antioxidants, they are vitamin C and vitamin E, and then ubiquinone, so the Q10 in the reduced form. So we have the micellar water as well, and that is also energizing, or they say energy micellar water. So what actually makes it energizing or an energy one, I'm not quite sure, because what I would say there are in these other products here, this one here, the day cream, and the eye cream, which we will try later, we can just do an unboxing. That is, it contains something called creatine, and that is something that you might be familiar with if you are a bodybuilder. Maybe if you're not, I can tell you about it, and that means that it is something that bodybuilders are using in order to build up their muscles. It is actually something that is energizing them, so they can do a little bit more pumping in the gym. So that is why it's very popular for bodybuilders. But also what Nivea says is that it will actually energize your cells as well, so that is a good thing. So in that sense, it should energize your skin. So I have of course tried these products here for a little while, so I can tell you how they are working on the skin. So that means that when we're opening this one here, it has actually already been opened, and that is because I have used it. So this one here has a perfume in it, and that is noticeable. It's not like overwhelming, but there is some. And then you have the eye cream here, and it does not have any sort of a perfume, and I think that is a good thing, because if you're putting it up close to your eyes, it might be that some people would not like to have a perfume close to their eyes. So we have the micellar water as well, and that is not perfumed either, so it doesn't contain a fragrance. So I have tried these products here, and just to say that when you look at my skin now, I don't have any of this sort of stuff on, the creams that is, because what I have on is actually this one here. I have just cleansed my face with this one here, and what that means is that I simply just put something into my hands and then smeared it all around in my face, just to like dissolve what was on even further than if I was just putting it on a piece of cotton. But after that, I put it on a cloth, and then I took it away. So that's how I cleansed my face, and I did not do anything afterwards. So I would say, when I tried this one here, it is a micellar water, but some micellar waters can actually sort of make your skin feel a little bit dry. It all depends on what is in the product. And in here we have some of those old-fashioned like glycerin and so on, and that is something that is helping your skin in order to stay moist. And I would say after trying this one here, it did not annoy my skin or anything like that. And at the moment here, I feel not tight in the skin or anything. It feels actually really nice. So if we just go back to these creams here, then one of the things, as I said, there is a creatine in the product, but there is not creatine in this product here. So that's a little bit strange, isn't it? So we have this Q10 in it, and they say that they have used ubiquinone, and that is fine, but they could just as well have used ubiquinol, because once it's in the body will actually switch between those two. So that is one of the things that the body can do. So this one here, it says Healthy Glow and Day Cream 15. So before we try it, I will just try the eye cream, because I think that it is better to use an eye cream first and then use the actual face cream afterwards, because then you don't risk having the face cream smeared into your eye area. So if we just try this one here, then we can just see how it goes. And one thing to say about it is that it is in this sort of a metal tube, and what that means is that if you squeeze it a little bit, it will continue to give. So just squeeze it very little, and we just take kind of like half a pea size or something like that. So when I just squeeze it, you can just see it will sort of like continue to just give and give and give. And that's a little bit annoying. So we just do like that, and then we'll quickly put on the lid to stop it giving more than we want. So we take this stuff here, and then we of course have already heard that when you're putting an ice cream on, then you have to use this finger here and that finger there. So we do that because we have to be gentle on the eye area. So we go on like this. So I can just look in the mirror here, and I would just kind of like dab it on because I am on camera, and that's why I would do it. And it looks really good, doesn't it? It looks like I really care. And I just go like this and kind of all this sort of a drainage and all that sort of thing for the lymph system. So it looks really, really good on camera. The reality is, of course, that if I were using an eye cream, I would not go like this forever. I would very, very quickly be tired of doing this, and then I would just go like this. And that means also that I would like to have, if I were using an eye cream, something that is very sort of easy to have gliding. So the first thing I noticed was that it has a sort of a cooling effect. Not just like if you're putting a cream on, it sort of has a cooling effect. It feels like it's having deliberate cooling sort of effect. So we don't want it in our eyes, we just want it around here. And then maybe I would dab it on top of the eyelids as well. Just like that. Normally when I use a cream, I use one from Ambreolis. So the fluid, and that I simply just, when I have the remaining stuff on, I just dab all over, and that's basically it. And that would be on top of my serums. So today I don't have any sort of a serum on, I just have this sort of the remaining stuff from this micellar thing. So basically a lot of glycerin. There is some hyaluronic acid in it as well, and some vitamin B3, and that's okay. So that should be good for the skin. And there's some cranberry juice as well, they say, and it should all be lots of antioxidants. So yes, we go like this. And when I used it the other day, maybe I used a little bit more, but I will say that usually when you're using something around your eyes, you want it to be sort of like going away pretty quick, where this seems to be a tad sticky. So not really sort of the feeling that you would like to have underneath your eyes. And I'm thinking that if you're using a concealer afterwards and stuff like that, maybe it will not work that well with that, because it has this sort of maybe a little bit too greasy consistency for an under eye concealer. So now we have put this stuff on, and there is no SPF in it. So we are down to using the face cream here. So there is a little bit to say about that, because as it is an SPF 15, it simply means that it does actually matter how much we are using, because if we would like to have an SPF of 15 on our face, we will have to use at least 1.25 milliliter, and that will be for the neck as well. So maybe a little bit less if you're just using it on your face, but if you're using a face cream, well, it's a good idea to use it on your neck as well. So we will go in and use a little bit as we are supposed to. So like this. So this is a little bit more than 1 milliliter. There is 1 milliliter in this spoon here. So this will be a little bit more. So maybe we are around the area of about 1.25 milliliter. So that means that we will have to take all this stuff here. So we can just say that now it is empty. I can just say that the filters that are in this cream here, that is the old-fashioned sort of filters that are available in America. So we need to put this stuff on, and we don't want to smear it all over our hands, because we want the stuff to go on our face, because we want an SPF of 15. And just to say something like, what about an SPF of 50 and 30 and so on, and compared to SPF of 15? Well, it is actually so that if you're using an SPF of 15 in the correct way, you might get a better protection than if you're using an SPF of 50 in the wrong way, and that is to use not enough. So always make sure that you're using the exact amount of kind of like 1.25 milliliters when you are dealing with an SPF. So we will smear this stuff on here, down the neck as well, voila, like that, on the nose, and we don't want to go too close to the eyes. And that means, of course, that we're not getting an SPF on our eyes. So like that, up in the forehead. So I can say that this already feels a little bit greasy as you might expect from a Nivea cream. Did I say that? Well, Nivea, they, in my view, often makes very greasy creams. So this goes on like this, and just give it some time to sink in. I will actually say that I used it the other day, and again, I did not have anything underneath because, first of all, it's a day cream, so I would not use any other sort of a cream underneath, as some might do if they're just using an SPF, like a sunscreen. So this actually, the first time I used it, I was a little like, okay, this is never gonna sink in. But then the other day, I just gave it a little bit longer, and then it kind of like felt better. I mean, if you're comparing to something like a sunscreen, then it's not as greasy as a sunscreen. But again, this is only an SPF of 15, and usually you might be using something like an SPF of 30 or 50, and that is greasy in a completely different way. So we just smear this on gently so it has time to sink in. And I would say, when you look in this light here, it doesn't look overwhelmingly shiny, and it did not feel any sort of a very overpoweringly shiny either when I was out in the sun. So for that, it kind of like was okay. But what happens is that this stuff here will, even that I don't put it too close to the eyes, it will start to migrate. And what that means is that the first time I used it, I didn't use the eye cream, so I just went straight in as if it was a sunscreen, and then I dabbed it on my eyelids as well, and that really annoyed my eyes. So it was I mean, I just had to take it off. So that is just something to think about if you were using this one and you would dab it over your eyes. Don't do that, because it really will annoy your eyes. So even that we're having the eye cream, this one here, on the eye, so we're not going too close. What I felt was happening during the day was that after a couple of hours, still it started to migrate enough to annoy my eyes. And also, I think the eye cream in itself it's a little bit thick for an eye cream, and that in itself started to sort of feel greasy around my eyelids. So that was not nice. So this is not an overwhelming perfume, as sometimes Nivea, they like to use overwhelming perfumes in my view. So I would say for that it is sort of like okay. And we have to make sure that all this stuff stays on the skin, and we are not kind of like thinking, well, can I just take my palm and then just go like that, because a lot of stuff will go on your hands, so you won't get the correct amount. So I would say, after a little while, it did sink in kind of like okay compared to a normal sunscreen. And there I would say an SPF of 30, that is what I normally use. But if you were comparing to something like an SPF 15, this might be just as greasy as that, because basically it is an SPF of 15, so it is a sunscreen with an SPF of 15. So yes, this is a little bit greasy, and I could of course just have used a little bit less, but really I can't, because then I don't get the SPF of 15. So this stuff here, I mean, yeah, it needs a little bit of time to sink in. Today here in England it is rather humid and hot, so it has even more difficulty sinking into the skin. The other day it sank in a little bit better, but this stuff here, no, I'm just like, it's too much. I mean, if you use it as a day cream, yes, it might be very well and so on, but then just keep in mind that you will not be protected well against the UVA, so you will not get the SPF of 15. So that is something to think about whenever you're using some sort of a day cream. Just using as a day cream, you have to use it as a sunscreen if you like to get the proper protection. So is this stuff here something I'm going to buy again? Well, these two things here, that is not something I'm going to use again. I think overall the consistency, it is too greasy. And then there is this one here. I wouldn't mind buying that one again. It actually felt really nice on the skin, and I felt that it left my skin like not dried or anything like that. It was something like, yes, it felt really nice actually, and it did the job well. And they say it will take away makeup as well, and I trust them on that, because they usually a micellar water that is very good at taking away makeup like mascara and stuff like that. But just if you're using it, put it to take away mascara, put it on a cloth and then hold it on for a little while, and before you start smearing around, make it do its job on its own before you are annoying your eye area. But as such, I would say this felt really nice. Would I use it in order to get a lot of vitamins and stuff like that on my skin? No, really, I would not. And for those people that are saying they don't like a micellar water because they don't want something to be left on the skin, well, nothing is stopping you from taking a washing cloth and then just go over your face with plain water after you have used it, and thereby cleaning all those residues off if you are afraid of that. So yes, I would say if you are after micellar water, this is okay. I can't really say anything bad about it. It seems rather okay. So yes, that was my little verdict on this little group here of products. I would say that overall the creams and stuff like that is a little bit too greasy, but the micellar water is okay. So yes, that was my little verdict. If you like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell, and do other things in between. There will be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.